was anime. I knew I know I said I wasn't gonna use Instagram. Uh, but sometimes I'm just gonna have to because I didn't feel like setting up a Zoom meeting. Plus, I'm trying to figure out the logistics of aspect ratio. That aspect ratio on my last full video left a bit to be desired, and I'm looking into that with them. Also, potentially looking into Google Meet because of that. So, but I wanted to. I'm listening to a discussion. It's not a debate. I'm listening to a discussion on ontological aspects of reality, right? And this dude just made a point that is very, very interesting and I can't ignore. And there's a topic of discussion that, is a part of simulation theory that is discussed quite a bit. It is wondering if, or it's kind of a debate. Are we in a simulation but have physical of some sort bodies outside of said simulation? It's a very large aspect of the overall topic, and I have not really, that's not something that I've had an objective stance on. It's something that I've always viewed as a potential, and I could see contextual, factors that point to that, but I also see some that don't. His point is very, very thought-provoking, though. He says that in order for us to notice or realize that we are in a simulation, you must have some sort of access to reality, whether it is active or inactive. Meaning that if you are to realize, hey, I'm in a simulation currently, that would theoretically mean that your consciousness is being projected. Your consciousness has an origin outside of said simulation. Now, where I offer a little pushback is, as they've been talking about how, it's something that I've mentioned, where when beings say things, they generally tend to not be able to keep continuity. Meaning, like, they'll say something and then they'll say something else that does not work with the original statement. So, like, if you were to say space is fake, but then you were to reference the next galaxy over in another statement, that is a lack of continuity. You're saying that space is fake in one statement, but then you're referencing something within the concept of space in your next statement. So there's a lack of continuity there. And so that example kind of shows, in my opinion, that theoretical physicists and physicists, the more that you pay attention to what they are saying, the more that you listen to these lectures and these debates and these discussions and read these papers, you start to notice that you're being asked to grant them a significant amount of play. Meaning, like, you're being asked to just believe many, many, many things that are essentially theory. It's just like I said in the last video, most of this place is theory from our perspective. Not to say that there isn't some sort of system. Obviously, there's some sort of system, but we are not capable of distinguishing the mechanics of this system. Not to say that it's not important for us to be, obviously researching and making theory and discussing it. But many, when they talk about these things, are legitimately just telling you what to think and then presenting something to you based on that data set. It doesn't work. This is why I wasn't trying to talk shit about the, I wasn't trying to talk shit about relativity, but at the same time I am. There are lots of things like that where we all use these are all in our our subconscious, and so we're going through day-to-day life with these things, you know, manifesting because of our belief in ways we don't understand. If we were to divorce ourselves from these many assertions, not proofs, assertions, who knows what that would do for our progression and potentially our return, our exodus out of this back to ourselves. I find this to be very important. And listening to these two dudes kind of have a bit of a back and forth. They're not arguing. They're trying to understand each other's vantage point. And they're both, well, no, I won't say that. One of them pretty much just assumes that you will accept the things that he sets up his premise with. Whereas the other guy is stress testing, and I like that. I like to see a physicist that stress tests themselves as well as others, because honestly, science and math have been just fucking destroyed with the concept of, okay, so believe me on this, and this, and now here is my theory. Here's my theorem. It's just like other aspects of this place. It's built on faulty framework. Like, I talked in a few videos ago about how pretty regularly I think about how flimsy this all is, and how I wonder to myself how this is all working and not caving in on itself. If physics is built on mainly theory that cannot be proven or reproduced, and my what up, benevolent? Peace, brother. My way to prove that or explain that is, if these theories and aspects of physics were proven, why do they still have jobs? And more specifically, why is their current still the same thing? If their theory, or if a theory is proven, how are they still working on it at this point? If it was proven, then all they would be doing is asking questions. Most of physics is not proven. Most of math is functional. It's not proven, it's functional. That doesn't mean that it's true. It's the same thing as history. It's functional. It doesn't mean that it's true. History is rewritten over and over and over again. It's a lot of it is asking you to make leaps and bounds in accepting a premise that has generally very little foundation, and then now you can listen to what I want to say. And that's conversational. It's understandable to do that to an extent. What I'm saying is, there are laws of, quote unquote, not literal, quote unquote, laws of reality, laws of physics, laws of mathematics, history. These things are all accepted to be, quote, true, but they're not. They're theory, and we all just accept. And I feel like, in a sense, metaphysically, that's intentional. It's to get you to not think for yourself. We're not thinking for ourselves as a civilization, and everyone wonders why we get fucking rolled over all the time. It's because of things like this. I like this dude within this discussion because the other dude just kind of says stuff kind of matter-of-factly. You can tell he's an extreme academic. Just because you say something to me in a matter-of-fact manner, that don't mean shit to me, dude. You know, that means literally nothing. In fact, it means to me that it's very likely that you think within a box, but think that you don't. And I find that to be significant, you know, the fact that there are beings out here that do not have a, quote, college education. They do not have a specific mode of experience or aptitude, that are able to theorize and give, capable presentations on some of the things that we're able to give presentations on, it proves that this has been built on fallacy for a significant amount of time. This has been built on, hey, please believe me. Just believe me. All right, now listen to what I got to say that's new. That's what relativity is built on. Einstein built something, he built a model that is functional. It's not proven, it's functional. This is disturbing as fuck to me, because I think I've had this in my brain subconsciously, but hearing him say specifically that for us to even have the notion that we are in a simulation, and not because of some fucking movie, but because of experience and because of contextual, points of contention, that would denote we are somewhere else where reality feels differently. So in order for us to be in this place and to say, you know what, this doesn't feel real, or this feels off, or this place is just fucked up, this place is wrong, that would signify that you originate from a different place. Even just the feeling, not to say that it's literal, even just the feeling of that would signify that you are potentially, from a conscious standpoint, or whether you want to call it from a spiritual soul standpoint, you're not from here, right? That gives the indication that there's a potential for your consciousness or your soul or your being to have kind of built-in memory of something better, of something else. And his standpoint is that because of that potential, we would have another, I won't say a physical body, I'll say another body outside of this. So potentially that could leave potential for consciousness splitting, consciousness copying, consciousness in terms of like a game, a more advanced game. And I'm saying game for, lack of better terminology, virtual experience, whatever you would want to call it. There's the potential for us to just be in here and for it to be a simulation, but there's also potential for us to be outside of this place physically, once again, still physically. That's why the thumbnail for the last episode of Is This the Dream is that is a screenshot from that video that's supposedly someone filming outside of the ice wall. There are domed structures, and I made the correlation between those domed structures and essentially like a holographic room, a holographic terrarium or experience where everything you see, touch, smell can be, materialized, but not necessarily, quote, real. And then there's even past that, there's the possibility of your origin being outside of all of this in a metaphysical sense. It's semantics. You could call it metaphysics or you could call it technology. Someone made the comment on the last video that they thought that Kardashev's scale was referring to consciousness. And I can see how you could make the correlation, but that's not what Kardashev's scale is directly. Damian Nichols is a magician, and I'm not saying this to degrade him in any way. He's a very intelligent dude. I said I watch his channel, but that's for encouragement for me, mostly for spiritual thought, for philosophy. In practice, that's not what Kardashev's scale is. Kardashev's scale is theorizing different levels of physical civilization. And he meant aliens, but, space. So, more so, Kardashev's scale is demonstrating the different potential levels of even just our civilization, quote unquote. But as I mentioned, that there's a lot to be desired there, because we haven't, most of what we're doing is not tangible. And we're all just, it's to the point now where they can say something publicly, and as long as enough people say it, as a group, we just go with it. And it's not to say that we all believe it or go with it, but as a society, if enough people go with some shit, that's just what it is. Which works in both ways. Again, I will say, let's fucking stop participating for 2 weeks. Let's stop buying shit. Let's stop going to work. Let's stop listening to their governance and rules for 2 weeks. They cannot arrest anyone for not participating. Obviously use common sense, follow the letter of the law in specific ways that allow you to keep your sovereignty and freedom in this physical plane. But at the same time, you don't have to participate in much of what feeds and keeps this economy and system alive. We don't have to do that. It's not the law that we do that. So, it's kind of the same. It's the same ask. I'm saying that with physics also, with math also. We can divorce ourselves from these fallacies and find at least more realistic and more tangible versions of these things that potentially could help us figure out our origin, where we are, how long this place has been in a more realistic sense, instead of just fucking guessing and faking carbon dating and all that bullshit that they do. There are ways that we can advance this. Even if we are in a simulation, just the fact that we can have these conversations, and the fact that we can even ponder and debate whether the fact that I can argue with you about if this is a simulation is proof that we can do things within whatever this is. Whether you think that this is, that was about to be offensive to some people. I'm not going to say that. Look, there are too many things that are just being pushed rather than proven, preached rather than teached. I'm not trying to fucking I'm not trying to rhyme like fucking OJ's lawyer, but that did kind of go, huh? I don't know. That just got me hype. Hearing this dude say that was like, oh shit, that does kind of make sense a little bit. But again, at the same time, that doesn't have to be true. That's just what makes logical sense to his brain. So both things are still possible, but I like the way his brain works. I like that he's thinking to himself, okay, so I think I'm possibly in a simulation. That leads to the also possibility that I have a body outside of this simulation. And at the very least, that should give some sort of hope or, ambition to figure this out, instead of just going along to get along, instead of just hearing someone else who chose to spend their time on theoretical physics or mathematical theorem or whatever the fuck, and like accepting whatever they come to. Because I guarantee there's always at least two sides to a conversation. That's how a conversation works. But the same goes for a discussion, a debate, a theory, a law. Like, something can be quote unquote a law, but there are others that don't respect that law, that see that law as fucking false or faulty or not optimal. I mean, it's a matter of taking your own life, your own existence, your own sovereignty and divinity, if you choose to self-deify, seriously, rather than just saying words and expecting everyone to just kind of like, I almost said something again. Damn, bro, what's up with me right now? I don't know. I just wanted to get that off. I think that, that's important. And it was disappointing in a way for a second, because, I'm into physics right now. I fucking hate math. Math is dumb to me. That's why I'm not literally trying to be a physicist. Math is faulty to me, and I think that it's almost like a level of, it's almost like legalese, where it's been designed to keep specific people out. If you, and it's not even necessarily to say it's meant to keep like less intelligent people out. If you have very little patience for dumb shit, then it's very possible that you're not going to like mathematics, or you're not going to like theoretical physics, because you have to sift through so much dumb shit and so many situations where it's like you listen for 15 minutes and then your first question is, so wait, going back to the beginning of what you said, you basically are just saying, so if you believe this, if you give me this as a point, then this, and this can be true. All right, well, you just wasted 15 fucking minutes of my time, because can you prove that? No. Okay, well, it doesn't really make sense to me, so that kind of two strikes you're out, you know? That's a lot of physics. That's a lot of mathematics. There are certain things that function, like I said, within both, but even those can be explained in different ways. Gravity is not absolute. Density can also explain the properties of gravity. Some say in more ways than gravity does. I tend to agree with that. So, you know, you're just going to ignore those of us that subscribe more to density than gravity. And to take it even a step further, there's probably something else past density that can explain it better. But no one works on it because everyone is tired. Everyone just fucking says, what? Gravity? All right, I threw an apple up and it came back down, so I guess you're right. Well, what? Density? Bubbles. Bubbles don't go down. Okay, all right. So then density then. Okay, yeah. I see. And then that's it. That's the most that they put into thinking into these theories, or, you know, and there are some that devote their lives to it, physicists, theoretical physicists, but they're doing the same shit. This is what you're taught in academia. Do what we're doing, but come up with your own version of it. That's stupid. That's why we're coming up with the same kind of shit. We haven't really advanced in super meaningful ways. It's not to say that we haven't advanced at all, but a lot of it is illusory. We have the illusion of advancement, especially when it comes to consciousness. Like the amount of people that keep coming to me thinking that they're saying something super like deep, and it's, I just don't know what to say back, because I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or stunt your growth. I don't want to say something to you to make you stop looking, to stop searching. But there are many that just listen to fucking TikToks and shit and talk about 3 topics over and over again. They talk about Kundalini, they talk about the pineal, and they talk about space. They talk about the sun. And, you know, some might talk about some magic, and even then, you know how I feel about magic, bro. it's, you know, discouraging. It can be discouraging. It's not discouraging, but it can be. But we have the potential to do a lot. And by we, I kind of, at this point, mean those of us that are actually seeing with the first eye, who are actually seeing with the first eye, rather than being shown when taught, rather than being able to see because we're being shown. We are seeing with the first eye and able to you know, dismiss or divorce dumb shit from our sight, rather than just saying, oh, that sounds smarter than the last thing that I thought. I got it. That, you know, we don't just accept everything that is said. I've gotten to a point now where so much of what we are expected to believe or learn or understand to be true is either dumb or not at all capable of being proven, you know? And I just find that to be both interesting and significant. For real, you know? It's there, the imbalance of this place. A bunch, like all of the beings that have those careers, you know, theoretical physicists, theoretical mathematicians, like they get paid much more than people that do meaningful work within our societies and civilizations. That shit's backwards. That shit's backwards. Like, first off, if you want to be a theoretical physicist or physicist, unless you prove something that is progressive for humankind, or this realm rather than saying humankind, or you're able to provide something that brings benefit to this realm, you should be kind of seen as like a public servant. You should be making, a median salary, and a fair one. We should all be getting paid more, but they get paid, especially if they have tenure or some kind of special position, they get paid too much fucking money to sit around and make shit up just good enough for it to be essentially a fucking sci-fi novel, And they build it off of other theory that is the exact same thing, a sci-fi novel. So what is that really? And it's not to say that it has no benefit, because I just said it does. It's just these are the building blocks of the civilization as we know it, as we accept it from day to day. And it's built on, mostly empty carbs. You feel what I'm saying? Like, mostly empty carbs go into that. And we wonder why, as a civilization, we are unhealthy, Not to say that that's the only reason, but it's a big reason. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is frustrating to me. And I would guess the majority would look at me and instantly want to say, well, what are his credentials? What gives him the right or the station to be able to say these things? Because I fucking want to. Why do I need any of that? I don't need a diploma or any of that shit. If I were to come into your establishment today, your lab or whatever today, and if I were to provide something to you of value, you would fucking hire me. You wouldn't give a fuck about a diploma because of money. Empty carbs. I've been trying not to rant, and I don't view this as a rant, really. But this shit's, I don't know. It's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I do very much want to make this company work. I don't even have a name for it because I chose to start working before doing that part of the planning. Once it's to a point that it can be established and can really do work for us all, that's when I'll name it. That's when I'll name it and do all the things and make it, official. But my work is trying to help us, not push myself forward with some kind of theory I can slap my face and name on and see the dollars come in. That's fucked up, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that all the physicists and mathematicians out there are, fake or just about fiat currency, but even the ones that think that they're not are not as genuine or sincere as they think they are, as they're telling themselves that they are. Once again, we all have to survive, but you see it happen. Once it's a very, very sophisticated system. The Rockefellers created something that is a monster, the educational system and by, a result, academia. It's sick. It's a sick, it's an unwell system. And, but it works like a well-oiled machine, for it works optimally for what it's designed for. That is not designed for us. It's designed for control, mind control, and money, and subjugation, and slavery. That's just what it is. So, I don't know, man. I don't even know if I should. I guess I will. If you want to donate to, if you want to donate to my research and experimentation, the PayPal is in the description of the video. want to participate in any studies, I'm still looking for beings to interview on any of the topics that you've seen me talk about on the channel, or if you have a topic that you think deserves or needs to be within said research, questions, suggestions, any of that stuff, the email is gammaauobsidian, gammaauobsidian at gmail.com. Instagram is the same. I am still going to use Instagram sometimes. I'm not, okay, so this is what I'll do. I'm not going to use Instagram to record important videos. All of them are important to me, but some of them, like, it's a presentation. Like, I put a whole bunch of research and work into it, and it's a documentation of whether it's a theory aspect or a complete theory, or just a presentation on something I find to be significant or important. To have that fully recorded and then to go get it and it's not there, that shit fucking sucks. So I guess, sometimes I will be on Instagram doing a live or whatever, but even now, I'm just kicking it with homies. Like, there's not many people that show up to these lives in the first place, mostly because I don't tell you I'm going to do them. But I do see the value in it, and I see the value in being able to commune with like-minded, siblings. So, Benevolent showed up, and I he's laughing too. I gotta still get it off, It just feels weird in this one because I'm basically like, get it together. You fucking get it together. Yeah, man. I enjoy this, and I am very, very sincere and genuine in the things that I say, and I mean it when I say I'm doing this for us, for like a particular reason. And to be honest, I don't give a fuck if it sounds weird or like exclusionary. I'm not doing it for everyone. I won't lie in that. I'm not doing it for everyone. Those beings that hear us have these conversations and discussions and debates, and they call us, different shit, and they don't respect us, intelligently, or people like to call them NPCs and shit. I don't give a fuck about calling them that, because I feel like that's become, antiquated. But those people, like, I'm not doing it for them. I'll be completely honest. I do love everyone, but I'm a being just like y'all are. I'm not doing it for them. And regardless of self-deification, I do view myself as a deity, but I still have, all deities have emotions, they have opinions, they have loves, they have not loves. I don't like the word hate, but I am that also. So again, I'm not doing this for everyone. I'm doing this for us. And they may benefit. I would say that they probably would. It's very likely that they would. But am I doing it for them? No, I'm not. Not even a little bit. Because I don't like that. I don't like fair weather shit, Funniest part is that with getting it out, you feel as though you forget things you were going to say. True. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know that I had too much more. I'm kind of like, not exhausted, but my brain after that Kardashev video is worked in a good way. It's just like, working out the physical avatar, It's tired a little bit, but feels like good chemicals were released. And I am not taking a break because I can't. I like research, but I don't know. I'm gonna get up off of here before I start saying goofy shit. I love y'all very much, and again, I'm doing it for us, not for them. That's not to say I hate anybody. It's not to say that there's any love lost or bad vibes towards some of them. But even with that, some of them are not that. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are something else. You feel what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here, bro. I'm talking shit. Bye.